Okay. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone. Welcome. How are folks? Hey, Kasuria and Arthur and Rod. Hey, PF Dennis. Hey, Little Brat. Hey, Jaeger. Don't Knock It and Jose and Jack. Hey, Wally. Derek and Michael. How are folks? Andrew. Who else? Fabrico and Papa. GJ. Sir McSquishy. How are folks? Hey, Turtle. Hey, John. Oh, I have a chair today. We're going to be using a chair a lot. Roll call. It's roll or roll. Currently tuning my newly built 2.4. Awesome. Hey, 3D. Hey, Kittrell. Antstar and Baze and Delvin. Delmar. Demlar. You're not going to live that down. It's always Demlar. That's what I'm going to think. Okay, so tonight we're going to do a couple of things. So I don't know if you caught in the very corner of the thumbnail was the little corner of the new Polymaker filament dryer. Figured I'd open up one of those and talk about it for a few minutes before we get into Fusion fun time. So, hey Adama, Justin, hey Luke, JD, Thunder Keys, hey Nurglerot, hey Poity. Soldering my TD1. Oh yeah, we need, here we go. It's roll call, right? Hey, Mr. Grinch. Yeah, so, several weeks ago, phone is over there. We're good. And Siri is disabled. So, several weeks ago, Polymaker reached out via Discord and said, hey, if we send you something, will you give us some feedback on it? And we'll let you know what it is once you let us know if you're interested in giving feedback on it. And the nice thing about that message was it didn't say, if we send you something, will you show it on stream? It said, will you give us some feedback on it? There was no mention of showing, although you kind of figure that if something's cool, it's going to get shown, right? So I agreed. I had no idea what it was, and they never actually told me what it was. I think it just kind of got lost. So it showed up to a complete surprise to me, which was, I kind of liked, since there was no, I could agree, and there was no obligation to show it anywhere. So it showed up, and it was the dryer that you've all seen. And I really like it. I truly do. So I ordered more, paid for them myself off the Polymaker website, and they've already arrived today. So I don't need to break out the ones that I'm already using. We can just unbox a new one. So, hey Flying Lunatic. Hey Brent from Texas. Randy. Also we got Polybox too. So let's go ahead and just open it up and check it out and then get into CAD. We won't spend a ton of time on this, but I figured since they had arrived quickly, I ordered it yesterday, showed up today. It's not a Steve review, it's an unboxing. So I mean, I guess, yes, sure. I am really, I think it fits my use case pretty well. So I'm excited about it. Did I use my affiliate link? I did not. I have the poly dryer and a couple storage boxes on order, waiting for shipment notice. Ordered one with 2 extra boxes. Link to the dryer. If you go to the Polymaker affiliate link in my description, it's right there on their main page. They are sold out of the combo. I only ordered one. I did not want to impact more than the one, but they did all sell out. I did order 3 extra boxes. So 3D Protofab, thanks for being a member for 23 months. Derek, thanks for the gifted memberships. Hardware unboxed. So this is the combo. It's a poly dryer. It's a relatively compact packaging. It's actually the same size packaging as just the box. So got the poly dryer and the poly dryer box. Seems like a good strategy for current projects. I think I ordered the combo this morning. Another poly box. There was a 44% off coupon on Loyal last night. People bought like 10 of them. Oh, I'm not surprised. They should have kept those coupons, make those coupons only applicable to Filament. But anyway, let's open this up, check it out. I know you've seen probably other streams, but it's an opportunity to get my take on it. And I can tell you about what feedback I gave on the device. Little instruction book. Nick said they will be releasing bulk sales of storage at discounts after the initial launch. Yeah, a little bit from now. Just got one of the Sunlu forcible dryer, liking it, but it's large with a downside. They do need a volume discount for the boxes. I can see myself wanting another, quite a few of the boxes. So that's all there is. It's all, the packaging is the same because everything else fits within a box. Get rid of that. And the VCore 4 order list today, printing the accent. Nice. Where is the, there it is. Hey, John. So when I opened this up, when it arrived, like I said, several weeks ago, I was immediately struck that it's pretty compact. I did not, when I opened this up, at first I was wondering, okay, well, where's the dryer? Is it just a sealed box? And those are tight, as has been mentioned, but the dryer is inside of here. And there it is. How hot does the dryer get? Will this work for nylons? I have not used it for nylons, but I'm told that it will work for nylons. It does have pretty good airflow. It seems to. So this is the dryer itself. It does blow air. It is circulating, so air blows out here and sucks in here. I confirmed that before I actually knew. Before there was any marketing material on it, I put a little piece of tissue next to each end and it sucked in here and blew out here. So level 3, the temperatures are gonna also have some impact by your ambient. So I think that's why they haven't made a big deal about saying what the different temperatures are. So pretty simple. A little power switch here and power inlet there. Does it heat the air? It does. Yep. It heats. So I guess on the lowest, it's somewhere between, and don't quote me because I'm trying to remember, but I think it was 40 to 45 C on setting 1. On setting 2 is 50 to 55 or whatever, and on setting 3 it's like 60 to 70. So, and those numbers are just off the top of my head. I don't remember. Little box with accessories and the power cord with the US adapter. Looks like a nice compact unit. Can the boxes be ordered separately from the heater? Yep. I ordered 3 of them, and they, like I showed earlier, this is a dryer box. That's the dryer system. So, yeah. So I opened this up and I started looking at it and looking at the heater and then the box, and notice that it has these seals on the bottom. Those come off, and then the box sits on top of the unit like this. I'm thinking, I like this. I envision being able to set this on my shelf and having my most used like ASA and PETG just sitting in here. And at $30 right now, these are a little pricey. I think Nick has already mentioned, and Polymaker's already mentioned, the potential later of having you buy in like kind of like in bulk. But how many of those boxes can you store inside of Phoenix? A lot. So that power brick is huge. What's the output of the PSU? Should probably get a meanwhile and make a power distributor for multiple boxes. That's a great idea, Mitchell. This is 24 volts. It's 1.7 amps. So, or no, I'm sorry. The input is 1.7 amps. The output is 2.83 amps. So it's 68 watts. So you could, is that right? Am I reading that right? Yeah, 68 watts. So you could get a power supply or some sort of setup and connectors and set up a nice little bank of these probably. Hey, Mad Cat. What about the Sunlu dehydrators to multiple filaments? I have not used the Sunlu. I think I bought the Sunlu single, the fancy black one with the screen on it. I returned it. It didn't have any air movement. And this was quite a while ago. It didn't have any air movement, and its filament inlet outlet, like printing directly from it, was not, I wasn't pleased with it. I would have had to modify it to use it properly. I do like my iBoss Polyphemus, however you say that. It works really well. It dries well. I can print straight from it well. It has a routing so that you can pull the lid off without disturbing the PTFE outlet on it. So I will continue to use my Polyphemus. I will probably use it to dry filament and then store them in one of these once it dries, if I'm not printing directly out of it. So these don't replace that for me, but it just adds to my drying capabilities. PF Dennis, thanks for gifted memberships. Monkey Belt allowed to put the temp specs Nick gave in the Discord stream channel. Let me bring that. Stream chat. Nick said level 1 is 40 to 45. I was correct on that. Level 2 is 55 to 60. And level 2 again, but a typo. Level 3 is 65 to 70. Saw the combo was out of stock. Yeah, they had, it looked like they had about 300 of those to start, and they've been sold out. They had about 500 of just the boxes. Hey, Garrett. Hey, Collie. Hey, Nuno. Not available in the UK yet. Hey, Stefan. You can buy boxes still. It would be nice to just buy a heater if you buy some of the boxes. Figured getting an extra, I mean, I can anticipate needing a lot of these boxes myself. So I will dedicate a shelf to holding these. So anyway, that's there. Now, so I was going through this that first day, checking it out and just kind of looking at what kind of feedback would I give on this. The desiccant setup here is a little fiddly, trying to keep from spilling them all over. You get a little humidity sensor and a little container here. Whatever these are supposed to come out. And it is tight. I don't know actually how that's, there we go. Probably don't want it to just pop apart. Supposedly available in Canada in June. The new little side filament holder that I've done for the V2s and Tridents lately, this sits perfect because it sits right next to the printer, and I posted the picture on Twitter and in the Discord, and the filament feeds out of here straight into the printer, so that's kind of nice. So it includes some desiccant, but it includes a pouch that you're supposed to cut open and pour into here, which is a little weird. A little weird. Hey, Unc. My 4 boxes without the heater came today. The ultimate cereal box filament storage. Now, when I dried 2 spools of filament, I dried the Soraya Tech glass fiber ABS I've been using. And I set the one of these on the shelf, and it was there for like over 2 weeks after it dried. It came down to 10% indicate on the humidity sensor, and I set it on the shelf. And the other day I pulled it down to print some parts, to print the hex tray actually, and for Sunday, and it still read 10%. Now I think some of these humidity sensors, they kind of, folks have said here in chat, they kind of bottom out. The lowest they read is 10%. So, and I'll get into a little weirdness I came across with these sensors as well here in a second. What's the price of the poly dryer? What was it, $70? So I'm gonna cut just the corner of this, and then we're just going to kind of pour this. I'm gonna cut a little more of the corner so this doesn't take all evening. Swap to one that added temperature, you can. Yeah, I think the one they've got here is not of the most bestest quality anyway. Or maybe I'll learn something and someone will be able to tell me that this is kind of a interesting behavior of how these work. I don't know, but I'll explain it here in a minute. Oh, I was hoping I would be able to get all these in there without spilling any, but nope. Okay, I will rescue them though. Got one there, and one over here. So no desiccant left behind. Nope. Did I get them all? All out of here? Yep. And any under there? Nope, there's one more. No desiccant left behind. Tastes like blue. It is color change desiccant, yep. We should model a funnel for this infusion today. I've already got an idea for infusion. We'll see how it works out, but eat the chiclets. Don't eat these. You could refresh the silica by leaving the box in the heater without filament. Yep. I mean, you can leave it in with filament. It's going to... There we go. So that's that. Try to make your own box from a serial box, sensor, printer parts, bearings, roller. Don't be surprised if the dry box itself seems like a good value. I agree. Those Rubbermaid cereal boxes are pretty nice, and you can make some cool printed parts for them, but there's a lot to it. Little thing here to activate the sensor. And we're at 39. I wonder how this compares. I mean, I don't know how much time that takes to match the room, but I have Sensibo controllers here in the garages now, and right now it says it's 40% in here. It says it's 40% in this garage right now. Cereal bins are overpriced too. So that's at 39%, and then this goes, hey Pedro. This goes in the front of the filament dryer, and it sits in, which side? It sits in this side. Yep, there it goes. So it kind of sits in there. Now, one of my pieces of feedback for them that they're not going to be able to do right away, if they end up deciding at all, is why don't they make this so that you could just put that on either end? Because this side has a little different shape. If you could put that on either end, then the outlet here could go either way. Oh, there we go. There's the 40%. So that was just a comment suggestion that I gave. Live in a place that has 3% humidity without rain. Wow. Only need a dryer for TPU and PETG. ASA here. I have observed significant print quality improvements in ASA when I dry it. So the way the bin snaps in one direction. Well, if I put this on here, this will go on either way just fine. And the top goes on either way just fine. So I don't see any reason why this couldn't go either way. Hey, Sanity. Are you doing a VCore 4 build? I'm on a pre-order for an IDEX. I chatted with the VCore folks. If it happens, that would be awesome. If it doesn't, I have plenty of builds to keep me busy. Is the notch for a wall cleat option? I don't know. The notch is, it doesn't appear to be used for anything right now. If the plans are to use it, then sure, having this on one side is fine, but that was just my feedback. And that's going a little bit. So what I did observe, hey Fabrico, my kid would say, because the sky is green and the grass is blue and I don't answer to you. Hope they come out with a 3 kilogram dry box, have some 3 kilogram ASA spools I'd love to keep dry. Yeah, I think the idea is and this is just hearing what Nick has said publicly and whatever, is that they're going to gauge how this does, and that is going to dictate what expansion of the ecosystem they do. So needs more French cleat. They could also just add a second hole to the filament to pass through. So John, that's how that started. I said I would like a hole on this side so I can choose which side I send the filament out in addition to the top. So the top I can just flip around. The base, I said do this, and then I said or make the bottom symmetrical so you can just move the desiccant pack. This, making this symmetric would be free in a revision because that's just a change to the injection mold. Doing this would add a part. So, on this hygrometer, humidity sensor, whatever, I have one of mine that will cycle after sitting here and going down to 10%. And then I noticed later that it read 26%. And I looked at it for a bit and it changed back to 10. And it stayed at 10 for a while. And then it changed back to 26. And it continues to do that. For a very slow cycle time, it'll go back and forth between 26 and 10%. Has anybody seen that on these? I reported that to Polymaker. I don't know. I don't know. So a new mold is probably 50K and it would be more material to give spacing. Probably be less material based on what I'm looking at it, because it has extra features here. But anyway, that's what I said. If they had to do a revision anyway, they're not going to do it within this. I've seen that on a Soval dryer. Drying part separate from the bin could allow a whole modular system, so only one dryer is needed for different bins and different size bins. Yep. Dead coin cell. That's the other thing. You're right, Carl. I have not tried replacing the battery on it. See if that fixes it. So, when these came in, I was doing intense prep for Rocky Mountain Rep Festival, and I did intend to get another battery and see if that fixes it. So I'll report back if that does fix it. Thanks for reminding me. That was my intent, is just in case maybe the battery that came with it was not optimal. So I don't have any thoughts on the SV08. It's a printer. I don't have any thoughts. It's not on my radar. I don't need to build it. So I think that's about it. I have used it. I've printed directly from it. I've dried filament with it. I am overall optimistic that it's going to fit into my setup pretty well. I was kind of excited to see this, so I wanted to share it. The only other thing that I noticed on these, and they say they've fixed it, is after drying for a while, this is the dryer I received, the sticker bubbled up a bit. It didn't go bad, but they said they've identified a better material for this sticker. So that was the only other thing in the feedback I had. So, yep. So speaking of Polymaker, there is a pinned post and link in the description for filament giveaway today. Whole box of those next to me, so it's top of mind. What's your thought on the price of that dryer? I think that the boxes, I'm hoping that with scale and stuff that the box comes down in price. I'm not too concerned about the combo price, given the new product, the utility, the flexibility I'm gonna get from it. Like I said, with no discounts, I bought an extra. I bought this and 3 other boxes because I really think I'm going to use them a lot. So, would it be annoying running overnight to dry? No, because it's not really high pitched. Hey Josh, welcome. Who else? Bill, I don't think I said hi. Hi Bill. I was busy watching Ben's Vice vid. Ben's Vice vid? What's Ben? Who's Ben? Anyway, let's get to CAD. Let's get to CAD. Put this away. Coffee refill before CAD. They do. The boxes do come with the desiccant and hygrometer. So that over there, this over here. So currently I have 2 heaters and 6 boxes. And I'll until they restock, I'm not gonna order anymore. Ooh, STLs for the boxes. That's not a bad idea. Printed boxes and custom boxes. Yeah, that's right. Josh has a whole shelf of Rubbermaid style cereal box containers. It's got a really nice setup with the hygrometers built into them and everything. And how to use parametric Fusion 360 of the SMW mod vise. Nice. I put Millennium OS on my Milo right here. I did that just the other day because I'm going to use it to cut those slots in cut the extra holes in my black box extrusions. How many you can make per kilogram of filament? Josh is like a hero to us all, let's just be honest. Of course. I've known Josh for a very long time. I'm too invested to think about swapping. Just put some printed adapters on the bottom of what you have, Josh, and get a heater here and just set them on top. It'd probably work. Other thing I worked on in between is this is one of the feet from the black box build, and I modeled a TPU bottom for it because those aren't part of the files right now. So, you still here, Luke? I can send you this if you want it. I printed the feet in Ninja Flex. This is Ninja Flex on my Mark IV. Still need a dryer for the 2, 3, and 5 kilogram spools. Yeah, there you are, Luke. I've got about 30 cereal boxes myself. I was thinking about an adapter. Yeah. I think this will work out well. Little M4 by 10 flathead for the bottom. Please send me the file. I will. A day off work, but too sick to do anything with it. Oh, that's a bummer. I hate that. Had to restart Fusion 360, but a ghosted extrusion that wouldn't go away. So, speaking of Fusion, I have been talking about doing a Fusion let's model something upstream for a little bit. I was going to do it for the members stream on Saturday, but I decided, much to my eventual whatever, to play with the Tridex instead, and that went less than well, but it'll end up okay. So I'd asked for ideas on what to do, and then I realized that I've been wanting to make a skirt insert for the Trident V2 that fits this style, and this particular shape of the end here seems to be pretty common on Amazon, but fits this little short USB extension cable. Now this one has a right angle on the end. I actually have a pack of these somewhere that I ordered exactly for this that's just straight, but I think it's the same end. So this is what we're gonna use for today's stream. Chagrin, yes. Hey, Philip wants to charge me for the foot STL. Well, I'm not gonna send it to you if he's gonna stand to make some good money, as long as I get a cut. Either that many bins, I can see it. Anyway, this is the intent here is so I just have access to a Pi USB port on the outside of the printer. On printers that don't have an ADXL built in, or if I want to compare values between the toolhead ADXL and say Stealth Burner cowling mounted or some other type, I wanted access to be able to plug in something. So check if you have data. I had to reinstall 2 because they had no data. Yeah, we're not actually going to test this as far as plugging it in. We're just going to do some modeling we're going to do this for another hour and a half or so. Hopefully get to a point where we have something. We're going to do a pretty basic, camera on the outside, exactly. We're going to do a pretty basic model. I have an idea. I have not actually tried to model this. So this is going to be from scratch. I haven't tried it. So yeah, let's start here. Now, I am going to be doing Fusion CAD. There are many of you that are awesome at this, and many of you that might have other methods that you use. I will not be able to follow along with every suggestion that might come up in chat. I am going to do this the way that I would approach it. I do not mind things being mentioned in chat, other ways to do it, because it might catch my attention and make me realize I want to try something else. But please don't be offended if I don't follow your suggestion in chat. My hack and slash editing with Tinkercad could use a boost in CAD skills. Hey, Maker Viking. So I wanted to start from the beginning. So I have the model for Trident up. And, okay, got it. Be offended you don't follow our suggestions. Some days I'm awesome in Fusion, but other days I'm awful. Same. So this is the CAD. This is actually, I don't think this is even the latest CAD that's out there on the GitHub, because this still has Afterburner. I think we've put Stealth Burner in there, but that's okay. The parts we're going to work on do not matter. I am going to export just one of the front skirt pieces. It doesn't matter which one. But we're just going to go in here, and I'm zooming with the scroll wheel on the mouse. We're going to grab one of these skirt pieces, and we're going to export it to a file that we can then edit. We don't need to be working within this full assembly. Depending on your computer, it may be more difficult to handle. If we go over to the feature or the component tree, we see there's a skirt, and we want the front skirt, and then we're going to just grab this right side. Now, the way the Voron files are is all the sizes are in here. See how that, when I clicked on that, it kind of highlighted the skirt piece. There's 3 bodies in here. There's the 250, the 300, and the 350 sizes. So I'm going to expand this again, and I'm going to grab just the 250, just for a smaller file. So if I right click on this and go to export, we're going to uncheck the export to computer, and we're just going to export it to a project in the cloud and under my stream folder. I'm going to call this, I'm going to just call this front skirt and trident. Sure, I don't know, whatever name. And we're going to export that. Don't despair even when you're succeeding. Fusion 360 tries to make you think you're failing. So now we're done with that. We can close this file. It doesn't need to be open and taking up valuable stream stuttering resources. So in my stream folder now, there is a front skirt trident 250 here. So we're going to open this. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this just so we see more of the screen. Now, I have my settings in Fusion set up similar to SolidWorks, is how I've always done it. If you go to the preferences, which was behind the chat here, if you go to preferences, you can set your, where is it? I think it's right here, and pan, zoom, orbit, shortcuts. This is how mine are set up. If you've ever used other CAD programs or whatever, you may have different preferences. So some of the shortcuts and stuff I may mention today are based on these settings here. So, and it's just the way I've gotten used to using it. So I have a mouse with a wheel. If I center click the wheel, I can orbit around the part. Okay. I'm not going to hide chat. I want it to be there. I will make every attempt to move windows out from behind chat when I can. Just G. I like having it there because if I ever need to edit this video, then chat, the YouTube chat goes away. So using Fusion with a mouse with the center wheel is, in my opinion, is much easier. I have tried using Orbit, one of the Space Mice things. I can't get used to it. My brain doesn't work right for those. So clicking the center mouse button will allow me to orbit. If I hold down the control key on the keyboard and do the same, I can pan. So this is all stuff that I'm used to. And then the scroll wheel zooms in and out. So we are going to be modeling a part that will fit within this row of the skirt. Now this does have a curve to the corner of it, so we're gonna have to pay attention to that. Now it should be, it is not, so it is not going to fit in the bottom. So we're gonna make this specifically to fit in this top row because this curve is different. So we could make one that would fit in the bottom, but I think the top's gonna be just easier. Hey, zombie. I have a MacBook and I have done modeling on that with the touchpad. It is interesting. I can do it. It's not efficient. Okay. I am using this as a base, but I'm basically going to leave this whole file. So what I could have done here, let's do this a little different way. Another way to do this would have been to close this. We're going to just start with a blank file. We are going to save this as USB hex insert, right? And I'm going to save this. Now you have to save it before this will work. Fusion doesn't allow you to do what I want to do next without the file having been saved. So we're going to save that. We're going to bring our little file tree back over and we can drag our front skirt into here now. So now we can place this anywhere in here. It really doesn't matter where. We just say okay. Okay. So now we've got this as a reference component in a new file instead. I don't know how far we're gonna get. I want to explain a lot. I didn't realize how much time it takes to explain some of the beginning, getting started stuff. Hey Arthur. SolidWorks is great, but my PC doesn't handle it very well. So I've been using Onshape and it's very similar workflow. My problem with Onshape is all your files are public without a paid subscription, and I don't know what the rest of the license looks like. I've tried using FreeCAD and I want to continue trying because I'd like to learn it, but I haven't spent a ton of time on it. Okay, so now this here, you see the little chain there? That means that it's an imported file. If you right click on this, you can break the link and just make it part of this file, but right now it's just a link to it. So it is handy, even on a simple file like this, to start your modeling in a new component. You can just start right now making sketches and pulling parts around and that. But if you right click on the top here and just say new component, this'll make this make our design a little more flexible if we want to expand on it later. I don't know if we would for this, but in general, it's a good habit to, when you're creating a new thing, to make it its own component. So USB hex insert. And what that does in Fusion, this is now the active component, which means it kind of ghosts everything else out. If we hover over the top and then click this little radio button, that makes the whole design the active component again. This makes a difference when you're dealing with the feature tree, the history that's down here at the bottom of the screen that I notice isn't actually coming across on stream. I'll have to fix that. I don't know how though. So I want to work within this component. Oops, I gotta click on the actual Fusion instead of on my OBS listing here. So now I'm in my new component. I have my reference geometry here. I have, prior to starting the stream, I did confirm that this USB connector will fit within the confines of those hexes. I turn off history. I like to model with history. It will fit within the confines, so that's why we're going to continue this. So, and then I've got some ideas of how I want to model this, but it will be with some pretty basic geometry. I'm not gonna model this whole connector and then put every feature in. I'm gonna put the features I believe are going to be necessary to make it function. So. Hey Brian, welcome. Do you switch back out to the top component for any type of operations? No, if it's a more complex assembly, then I'll switch between the different components. Because what will happen is down here at the bottom of the screen, let me see if I can actually get this up here. I actually want it to, can I? Let's see. Here we go. Let's see if I can. I might screw things up a little bit here, but can I get this? I might lose a little bit there. Okay, so now you can see the bottom. We're gonna lose a little off to the side of the screen there. Hopefully that's not a problem. I've resized this so you can see my timeline down here. So I know I'm in my view here is in the corner of the screen. Hey Liz, welcome. There are some navigation buttons here to move through the timeline. There's nothing here yet. If we go back to the main component, then you'll see that there is the linked This first one is the skirt that we linked in, and then the second one was creating a new component. Now if we go in here, now those go away because this is just the history for this component that we're going to create. So, hey Chris, welcome. Okay, so now you can see the timeline a little bit. The corner camera is a little bit in the way, but I will hopefully work around that. So I am going to start, I'm going to use the center hex as my reference. I am going to start by making a construction plane. And I'm going to click on the front of this hex piece. You see that there? So I want a reference right there. When I'm thinking about this, I want to decide how, as far as what my vision is for this part, is do I want to start where the front of this part is going to be, or do I just want to start on this surface and go from there? Hopefully you'll see what I mean here in a minute. I am going to start, because I want the front of this to be probably, well, it's variable, so I'm going to start right here. So I'm going to just, no distance off. I'm just going to create a construction plane on that surface. Okay. And then I'm going to create a sketch on that construction plane. Now we could do this a different way. We could create a sketch now. Here, let's go back in our timeline. Oops. Did not want that. I'm going to hit Control Z to back up. I'm going to go back in the timeline. And if I just hit sketch and did a sketch on top of that, on top of that geometry, we would have a sketch, but it would have these lines as part of it. The geometry, that surface geometry from this skirt, you see that there, would be part of that sketch. I don't want that. I don't know how to adequately explain why, but I'm going to do my sketch on top of let's go back. I'm hitting Control Z to try to get out of here. I don't want that. Out. There we go. Okay. So now I have my construction plane, and I'm going to create a sketch on top of that. And over. Now I don't have any, if I hide this, I don't have any geometry to work with. You have to experience a space mouse despite spending a ton of time in CAD. I tried, Chris. I just couldn't do it. I hate having the grid turned on in Fusion. It's distracting to me. Oh, and I'm also in, I don't know if there is there a dark mode in Fusion? Okay, so I have a sketch here. Now I am going to grab the geometry for the hex I'm going to use. So to do that, we can use what's called project geometry. And if I hit P on my keyboard, it brings up this project geometry dialog here. You could also, where is that? Probably under create, project and include, and we can project from there, but you see that's P. Environment under display. You can disable the grid and sketch environment. That's fine. I don't mind the sketch. I'm going to come around the back here, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to click on the lines that make up this without because there's a chamfer there. I'm going to just click one by one the lines that make up this hex. Right? Now, when we say OK, that's going to project the shapes of that onto the sketch I'm working on. Now I can just turn off this skirt piece, and I've got the shape of that. Okay. I don't actually want to use this. It's just reference geometry. So if I double click, it used to, okay, apparently not. I can turn these into what are called construction lines. So if I click on this and hit X on my keyboard. Also in this sketch palette right here, line type is construction or center line. I can turn all of these into construction lines. And now you see it's no longer a closed shape, but it also isn't going to impact my having to select things for my future geometry. So I want to do that, just my own preference. Okay. Now I'm gonna, the basis of this whole thing is I'm gonna be putting, it's an insert. If I made my insert this size, it wouldn't fit. Hey, Bruno. So I'm gonna offset this geometry by just a little bit. So I'm gonna, I can modify, I can go up here to modify and offset, or I can hit the O key and that brings up the offset dialog, and I can choose these lines. And why isn't it chaining? I think it's the way I projected that geometry. But you can just go in here and choose these lines. And now this is going to offset a line by whatever amount. Right now it's 1 millimeter. If I go minus 0.1, it's going to go to the inside. And this is going to give us a little bit. We can go 0.1, 0.2. 0.2 is going to work better. I did try double clicking, Bruno, and it didn't work. I've noticed it does that sometimes. If I clicked, I could select minus 0.2, or I can hit this flip button. It'll go to the inside or the outside. So that, I don't know what the difference is there, Bruno, but sometimes I've noticed that it doesn't chain, it doesn't double click, and I just have to select them all. And I don't know what the difference is or why. So sometimes you just kind of go with the flow of the Fusion quirks, right? Hey man, App, I am planning on going to Murph this year. Yep. Changing the chain into a construction line affects it? Could. So if we say, okay, now we will get a shape here that's 0.2 millimeters smaller than the hole that's in that. 0.2 millimeters smaller than the hole in the skirt. I want, so I'm going to turn, oh, the little eye here will make things visible or invisible. If you click on that, it kind of goes away. If you click this again, you can see this. I want my, the flange here to be some certain amount. What is the distance? I think these are 3 millimeters. If I hit I on my keyboard, we'll bring up the measure dialog. I can look at this to say that, and then yeah, that's 3 millimeters. So, and I want my flange on this to probably be at least 2 millimeters. So I did that to get a number. I can hit escape to get out of that, and I can turn this off. Now I can do this offset again and grab this. Yeah, it's not double click or anything. So I'm just gonna grab all of these. And I want my flange geometry here to be 2 millimeters. Okay. Okay. So to get rid of the projected geometry of the face, uncheck profile on the right side when editing the sketch. Then you don't need to create a new construction plane. Fabrico, thank you. Fusion Tuition. So we're just building a sketch right now. I tend to put a lot into my initial sketches. For this one, I'm not sure. We'll kind of play it. I might go along a path, and I might go back in the history and change the strategy. I think we will leave it actually right here. I want our basic setup here to work, and then we'll go in and tweak stuff. when you project something, you need to be careful about the lines you want to project. If there's bevels, chamfers, it's easy to project the right shape with the wrong dimensions. And I did mention when I was projecting these, I was projecting the inside of the chamfer specifically. Okay, I'm gonna finish this sketch. We may come back to it, we may add some geometry, but I'm gonna finish this sketch. This gives us something to work with, okay? If I bring this up, we're gonna see a sketch here, and I want this to stick out the front a little bit. I want it to basically stick out past this, this curve that's here. So it kind of hides this curve. It sticks to the front of that. That distance, if we hit the, is going, I want it to stick out past this point here. So if we extrude this, and I hit E for extrude. I think Fusion doesn't know it's a connected loop because they are projected. I've done it with projections though, so I don't know what it is. You can also up here, here's extrude. E brings up extrude. I'm gonna extrude this, let's try 3 millimeters and see what that looks like from the left. And that's plenty ahead of that curve. So I'm gonna leave it at 3. I think it'll look fine, it'll look good. So for our first extrude here, I am going to go 3 millimeters. And that's gonna create just a little disc here, a little hexagonal shaped disc. But also what it does is it gets rid of it auto hides our sketch. So if we go to the tree here and go to sketches, we can turn that back on so we can see our sketch again. Now I can extrude again by hitting E, and we're gonna extrude this back to create the part that goes into the hex. Now how far that is, let's look at our piece here. So let's get this in. Did I get a tube? I did not. Maybe project from a face will work, probably because it was project line by line. I can't explain it, Nathan. I've seen it happen both ways. Fusion confusion sometimes. Hey, Joey. So this is our piece. I want this basically flush with the front of the part we're making. And I want it to go deep enough into the skirt to use this groove as our indexing feature to keep it from moving in and out. We're basically gonna grab it by this groove that's in here. I don't know how consistent that groove is, but I have a feeling it's fairly close. So I'm going to just kind of figure, I want enough material on here to probably grab that and some of the rest of the body here. Probably want a little more, that's 15 millimeters. Let's just make this 20 millimeters deep. That'll also maybe give us some material to work with to figure out how to fix this within the skirt. So this says minus 15 millimeters. We're gonna go minus 20. Let's say okay. So now it didn't auto turn off or hide that sketch. We can hide that to get a little better idea of what our insert here looks like. Okay. Really liking this intent. I'm glad. Thanks, Josh. I'm hoping this works out well. I know some of it can get confusing. Hopefully little bits are useful as content. I get it. So my vision for this setup is to have this piece, and you've got a hex insert here, but I want it to be in 2 pieces, and it basically sandwiches around this connector and then pushes into the skirt, and that's what holds it together, and then some sort of feature to lock it into the skirt. So we want to split this in two pieces. So we want to split this in two pieces. Now we could do this a couple of ways. I think that I am going to, do I want to split the body or do I want to create it as two things? We can go back to our sketch here. Oh, hex insert for the skirt, good idea, and hardware-free cable. Yeah, that's the idea, is to minimize the hardware we need here. If I right-click, and you can't really see this, but if I right-click on this sketch here in the corner, there is an edit sketch option. I click the edit sketch option. If I do a line, so I can go up here and click line, or I can hit L to get line. And if I want to draw from here, and you see how I go along here, it puts that triangle there. That's the midpoint. Yeah, Michael, good call. Lip on outside, bolt to put together two pieces. We'll see. I like the zip tie idea. I like the zip tie idea. If you run your mouse along the line you want to draw against, you can find different points along here, like the midpoint of this arc, the ends of the arc, the midpoint of any line, that kind of stuff. So we're going to go from the midpoint of here all the way over to the midpoint of here. Okay, and now we've got a two-piece. And if we finish sketch now, and now we're going to go to this first thing, and if we right-click that and edit feature, we can unselect what we want to extrude. So if we say okay, and then we go to the next one that we did, and we edit that feature, we can unselect that, and now we've got half of what we did. Lip on outside, bolt to put together. Did I miss anything else? Okay. So I think this is where I want to go right now. So now we've got a basic feature here. I want to now create the cutout for this USB end. So on this surface, I'm going to create a new sketch. So I click there. Now I can click there and hit sketch, or I can hit sketch and then click there. So I'm going to create a sketch here, and I'm basically going to draw the shape of this USB end. Hey Keith, add coarse threads on the outside and then split the body. Yep. Then you can create a printable nut that not only holds the body together, it can hold the insert in place. Thought about that too. I've been planning this. I have not touched CAD for it, but I've been building it in my head for a while. Okay. We're going to draw the outline of the USB thing. If I hit L for line, I want to create a, we can do this a couple of different ways, but I want to create a center line that I can work off of. So I'm just going to go to the center of here to the center of the other side. Now I can do it that way, and then hit escape to get out of that tool, click that line and turn it into a construction line. So construction lines are dotted. There are exactly 5,258 ways to do everything in Fusion. Exactly. And this doesn't have to be the final revision of this. So I can do that, or I can undo all this. I can click the construction line and then draw the line, and it will create it that way. I'm going to hit escape to get out of that tool, and then I'm going to unclick that because I don't want to be drawing construction lines. Clicking on any line here. If I want to turn this back into a normal line, I can click on it and hit X on the keyboard, and it turns it back into a a line. If I click it again and hit X, it turns it back into a construction line. So with my calipers, I'm going to start taking some dimensions. So if I'm just going to go, now this is, if we look at this part here is wider than this part here. So, and you can do a line to add a constraint to midpoint. We are at the midpoint right now. So I'm going to measure the front part of this, and this is 17. I'm going to say it's 17.4. It's 17.3. Maybe I can do 17.8. 17.3. I want to draw it to dimensions and then add some clearance. So I'm going to say 17.3. Could use Ajax's idea with a piece of filament as retainer. Ooh, I like that idea. Eclipse, this is my favorite content, always learning. Awesome. So that's 17.3. This is, let's see if we can get this in here. It looks like it's right at 18.3. So we're gonna say 18.3. And we'll get some more. Maybe we'll do the depth of this distance here. So this we're gonna say, and this is a curve. I'm gonna ignore that. I don't care for what my design is here. That is, we're gonna say that starts at 8.2 millimeters. Donate $1 for every new thing you learn. What about a membership? For every 2 new things you learn. A gifted membership for every 2 new things you learn. Okay, so I am going to draw half of this. Okay, so I'm gonna hit L for line, and I'm gonna draw the basic shape here. So this basically does this. I think I might model in just the corner of that little slot, and then it comes out and then it goes in. So at the very basic concept, that's the profile without accounting for any curves. So we don't really care about any curves for what we're doing here. This distance between the width here was 17.3, right? So we can do this a couple of ways. We can mirror this geometry and then add dimensions, or I can dimension, see the sketch dimension, or hit D. If we hit dimension, I can dimension between this line and the center line. And you see that? And I can actually just put 17.3 divided by 2. And it will do the math for me. 17.3/2. I could do that, or I can mirror, hit the mirror, and select my geometry. Now, if I double click, it selects the chain of things we just did. You're measuring things so you can easily reference them when dimensioning things or make changes for iterative designs. I don't do that nearly enough. If I select this, let me bring the mirror dialog over here. So I've selected 5 segments of line, and then I can click here to select my mirror line. And if I select this center line here, you see it mirrors all this, and we say, okay. The other way that we can dimension that now is we can hit D for dimension, and the other one that we wanted here, we can go all the way across, and this one, we want 18.3. See that? Now we've got our narrow piece and our wider piece. Okay, this little slot in here, I'm gonna do a quick measurement of about how wide it is. It is right at, I'm gonna say it's 2.1 millimeters. So this little slot is 2.1 millimeters wide. So if I just dimension one side of this, 2.1, You see it updates the mirrored geometry that we did there. Hey, BBs. Okay. And then the depth isn't super important, but I'm gonna get it, if I can get it, I'm gonna get the depth to the wide part, because that's easier with my calipers to get, at 1.5 millimeters. So the depth from this wide spot in the connector to the bottom of this groove is 1.5 millimeters. Now the last dimension we need is how thick this front was. So we can click that and bring it over. And that was, if I remember right, 8.3 millimeters. Okay, so now with that, something you notice is all those lines that used to be blue now turn black. All those lines that used to be blue now turn black. And what that means is Fusion says that those lines are fully defined now. They're fully constrained. You can't grab any one point and move it. Like if I click anything and try to drag it, it won't drag because it has a fixed dimension. It is referenced. It is fully defined, fully constrained. If I undid that last dimension, there we go. So I undo that last one. Now we have these two blue lines. Now some of these we can't move. Like if I grab that, I'm holding down the mouse button, I can't move. I can't move the ones that are black in the direction they're constrained. But I can take this and drag it because it's not constrained in that direction. So let's go dimension of that. That is 8.3. Okay. Fully constrained. Now I have modeled this to exact dimensions. I don't know if I want to just tweak these here. So I may say this dimension here, if we double click on any of these dimensions, oops. If we double click on any of these, we can edit that dimension. It's 612. So we have 47 minutes until Polymaker filament giveaway time. So I do some and then find myself taking another dimension that has a parameter and then saying, yeah, I do that too. I usually go back through after I figure out critical variable dimensions and go back and make them easier to find parameters to make updating later easier. I would turn the actual dimensions into construction lines and do offsets. I like that idea, sort of, because I don't necessarily want to do that here. So I think I'm just going to tweak these other dimensions for this case. So I'm going to make this like 18.5. Okay, and I'm going to make this 17.5. There, and that's going to give us a little bit of clearance of width in my part. Right across here, if we look at our part here, as well as the difference in width between this part and this part, if we turn it on its side, there's a little bit of difference between this part and this part. So to account for that, I'm going to do just something simple, and I'm going to do L for line and do a line across here, just so we can make this part a little thicker than the other part. Once again, we're ignoring that curve in the dimension that this is. That curve is not going to matter. So now we say finish sketch. Now we have some geometry that we can click on and extrude from. So since we're dealing with half of this, we're going to take the width of this here and this width is right at 11. So 11.05. So, and then I guess we'll take this dimension here while we're sitting here, and we are at, yeah, and it's pretty consistently 1 millimeter for both of those difference. Hey, Vince. So here we are going to click on this, hit E for extrude, and we want to extrude in this direction, that 11.05, let's go 11.2 divided by 2. Divided by 2. And I accidentally got rid of the minus, so we want to go minus. Oops. Minus. And that's going to cut into... It's funny. I'm actually looking at the OBS screen instead of at my Fusion screen. So lots of parameters here that we can set. I'm going by distance, that 11.2 divided by 2. So half of the distance there. And then we're going to say, okay. Is the plug facing inside the printer? The plug, no, it's going to face outside. We're not done here yet. So let's turn that sketch that got turned off before. Let's turn that back on. And we're going to hit E for extrude again. We're going to extrude this other part. Now we can do this one of two ways. We know that it's about 0.5 millimeter difference. It's 1 millimeter overall difference, 0.5 millimeter for half of it. So we could extrude this from this plane. Instead of distance, we can say to object, and then select the last part we did, and then say our offset is 0.5, and we want to go minus 0.5. That's one way to do it, and you see that it gives us that 0.5 millimeter ledge, or we could say that 12.5 or whatever distance. So now we have this. Okay. We can turn off that sketch. Now, if I printed 2 of these, and let's do a little look here. If we go create, and we're gonna mirror the body that is this, and we're gonna mirror it across this face here, and we are going to say a new body. Say, okay, now we've got kind of a visual of the insert that we've created. If we printed this and theoretically, if we placed the plug in here, it would, these two projections here would set inside of this and hold that in place. So this would be facing outside and poking this way through the skirt, right? Your indexing ears are exact dimensions, so they're probably going to be too big. I get it. Yep. But that's going to get fixed here in a minute, because this is not printable right now. This is not printable. If we are printing this on its face, and I'm going to go in here to the tree, and I'm going to turn off that body we just did. If we print this here on its face, we've got a unsupported ledge here. Interesting how different people approach the problem. I have tried to build a positive of the plug and cut the outside body with it. I thought about that too. I was trying to think of a simple, get basic dimensions of this to demonstrate on stream. If I was doing it, I very well might have modeled this plug and then cut it out of an insert as well. So many ways to do this. That's what makes this so fun. So fun. This does not give us a good, ooh, I got an idea. This doesn't right now give us a great way to hold this into the skirt. You could split objects so the upper one have the complete front and the bottom part without the front. You aren't done. There's no chamfers or fillets. Exactly. What you need a curve on the back of the flange to avoid the curve of the skirt. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. I promise. Let's turn on our skirt again and see what this looks like. And we're actually going to go back to the root part so we actually see. So now we've got a, oops, let's put this way. So now I know we have the interference here, but let's ignore that for right now. This is right here. Oh, it doesn't quite work out. See where that groove marks? I was hoping maybe I could put a piece of filament through the whole thing and kind of hold it in the skirt that way, but that won't work. Okay, I'm not sure exactly yet how I want to manage holding this in place, but we'll figure it out. I have a small idea. We could probably do this pretty well with a couple of button heads. We'll see. 2 button heads would do it pretty well. Zip ties, the head of the zip tie will keep us from being able to put it on here nice and cleanly. But I could do it with 2 little button heads pretty well. I'd put a slight bulge around the outside, chamfered maybe. Okay, I'm going to try the little hardware thing because I think it might work pretty well. We're looking for basic here. We're looking for something we can finish in about the next half an hour and then get this printing while we do a giveaway because I want to try it. Where we're at now is we have half of this done. Let's start putting in some printability features and take care of this. Oh, we're not going to be able to actually print this in or just a one piece and 2 of them. So we can do snap fits, we can do all kinds of stuff, but I'm going to use two M6 button heads, I think. M6 by 6. What is the distance here? If I hit I and hit the dimension here to the front, that is 7 millimeters. So I can do what I want to do. So we're going to do that. Okay. I want to clean this up. I want to make it printable and I want to make it fit that. So let's turn this, get back to our insert. So we're going to make it the active component and we're going to hide this. So our basic features that are going to be shared between the two is we want to make this printable. So I'm going to do a simple chamfer here. And this is if I went to modify and chamfer. Now it doesn't have a hotkey, although you can define a hotkey. Okay, so I want to, oops, not fillet. I want to chamfer this and this. Now before I do that, I actually want to know how much I want to chamfer it. One way to know how much I want to chamfer it is what is this line distance here? And it's 1 millimeter. And I hit I and then click that line to get that 1 millimeter. So now if I chamfer this and just say 1, then that is going to give me a printable edge there that we can, that will help lock this into place. A simple press fit might be enough, but this is fun. I want to do another fillet. And I want to make these, and I think this is probably going to be about, just looking at it, I need to print a little fillet gauge, I think, but I'm going to try like a 0.5 fillet on those, maybe 0.6. No, not 6. I want 0.6. And I hit F. You can go to modify and hit fillet, but F is what I hit there. And there are options here, various different things you can set, but I'm gonna just do a basic 0.6 fillet. This stuff back here doesn't matter, but a good hefty fillet here is gonna make this more printable. So F for fillet, and we're gonna fillet this, and we're gonna go at least one there, just to make that. And it looks, just looking at the part here, it looks like that's not gonna interfere. We're doing minimum, kind of minimum changes here. We could do a lot of cleanup, a lot of little tweaks to make this a more refined part, but we're doing basically proof of concept level on this build, on this stream. What about a foldable hinge so it wants to expand out and fill? It's lots of fancy options you can do. Start thinking and apply it into CAD. Is the S key, it opens a menu and you can type any command that doesn't have a shortcut, so if you don't know it. Really? S? Oh, interesting. I've never done that. That's really nice. Okay, so that's there. Now I want to apply a chamfer to just this, and I'm gonna do like a fairly hefty chamfer, I think. A 1mm chamfer. This is starting to look a little better there, right? Okay. Donate a membership. Oh! Oh. Good call. There we go. I forgot about that. Did I donate memberships last month? I've got to do all of them today because this is the last day of the month. You have to duplicate this piece, or does it update part B? We're gonna duplicate it, but I'll show you how and why we're gonna do it. I will donate more right after the giveaway. Don't let me forget, because it's the 30th right now. I've got to do it today. Is printing time ever a concern when designing a part? Mildly. Mildly. Okay, so that's there. So now we have a nice pretty chamfer. The rest of this is, oh no. Now I want to make my retention mechanism, okay? So let's see how this is going to work and see if it's going to work well. You might want a slight chamfer on the back side of the ears. Back side of here, you mean? My thinking is have the hinge just be a flap of plastic, doesn't want to bend. Don't forget the clearance for the curved. Oh, we will. We will. I also want to put another chamfer right here, and I do a 0.4, and actually I want it right here and here as well. So those are 0.4 chamfers, and this is all build plate stuff. Okay. Now, yeah, this is going to print like this. It's going to print like this, and that's why those chamfers are there. Now I want my retention mechanism. I'm going to put a screw on the back here. So I'm going to create a new sketch on the back here. And I know I'm going to check, and a double check, but a button head cap screw is about 6mm diameter on the head, right? 5.5. Let's say 5.5 is our diameter on the head. So we want, I'm going to do a reference line here. So I hit L, and I'm going to go from the center of this down to here. And this is just a construction line. So I'm going to hit escape to clear that. And then, oops, I didn't want that. I want to, oh, no. What do we got going on here? Delete. What is this doing? I hit something weird, so let's hit L. Draw our line, hit escape, click our line, and hit X to turn it into a construction line. Okay, so now we're going to do a circle, and I'm going to thread into plastic circle. So I'm going to do 2.9mm for an M3. Okay. And then I want to define the head of the screw. So I'm going to do another circle, which is C, hitting C on the keyboard. And I'm going to do this, which I'm going to say is 5.5 millimeters. Okay. Hey, Star Rose. Okay. So now see we've defined a circle. I want this outer diameter, this 5.5, to just barely go around the, I want it to overlap the skirt piece by a little bit, but I still want some material here for the screw to thread in. So I'm gonna move this down. If I do a dimension of from this arc to this, I can do, I think this, yeah, that will give me the dimension between those two. And I want it to overlap by however much. I don't know what a reasonable, any amount is gonna work for this. So I'm gonna go with 0.6 millimeters. And if I need to adjust this later, I wanna give enough to where this still threads into plastic. Okay. Search, but can add anything you can find to the top bar of that menu. Set the usual check print in the middle of the night alarm and saw this stream. Nice. So now I've got this drawing here. So if I finish this sketch, and now I'm going to extrude the center. Okay, so this is the hole for the screw. Now remember, the screw, or the thickness of the skirt is 7 millimeters. So I don't have too much worry about poking through the front of my insert here. So I'm gonna extrude this to distance to object, and I'm gonna go all the way to here. Now you notice it pokes a hole in the front, and I'm going to say the offset of that is -2. Okay. And that'll be enough room for my screw in the end here. So I say, okay, now I'm gonna get my sketch back, and I'm gonna extrude this now, this bit here. We could grab it all, but it doesn't matter. It's not important. We're gonna extrude that bit, and we're gonna turn our skirt back on, and we're gonna extrude this distance to object, and we're gonna select the face, the rear of our skirt here. And now you notice that is going to cut away all the material up until that face of the skirt. Say, okay. So now we've got a spot for our screw to go in there, and the extra bit here is going to overlap and keep our piece from pushing through the front. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to turn this back off, and I can turn my sketch back off. So this is the basic geometry that's going to be the same between them. Now I'm going to fillet these two here. See that? I'm going to do like a 1 millimeter fillet there, just so that I don't have those sharp edges. Okay. And I'm also realizing now that this is way deeper than it needs to be. I'll probably I'm gonna reduce this by 5 or 6 millimeters. To do that, I'm gonna go all the way back here to the feature that created this. So if I right click on this one and go to edit feature, I'm gonna make this -15 instead. Not -150, -15. And say, okay, now when I hit okay, this should just update and be fine. You see, there. Now we got a little more compact piece, and that's a retainer, yes. So that's as a retainer. Okay, this has to be printed in 2 pieces. This is our basic geometry. We could clean this up. We could do a couple other little fillets and stuff to make it a little better printable, but I want to get this printed. And we've got 25 minutes until Polymaker giveaway, links in the pin post in the description. So let's get to a point where we're ready to print this in the next few minutes. So the next step I'm going to do is now I'm going to mirror this body. Sergey, Don't worry, I got it. Don't worry. We are going to create and we're going to mirror this body, and we're going to mirror it across this surface, and we're going to make sure. Now this says join. If I said join right now, we're going to end up with a piece here that's one piece. That doesn't help us. If I go back here and edit this feature, I want to create a new body. So then we get two different pieces, okay? So now if we go here, oh, I have that old body. Let me, I had done this here. I don't need to do that. So I'm gonna just delete that old mirror. Okay, so now if we turn our skirt on, and let's make this a little easier to see. See, now we have this. This bottom piece is fine. This body is fine. It's going up against a flat part of the skirt. The top piece is interfering with this chamfer. Okay? The way I'm going to fix that is I'm going to go back and make this our active component, and I'm going to use what's here called the combine. So this is a Boolean function here. I'm going to click that. I'm going to say the target body is this top insert piece, and our tool body is the skirt. And then the operation, we can join it. I'm going to say cut. And I'm also going to say, why isn't that allowing me to keep the tool? It doesn't matter because it's a linked object. That's why. So if I say okay, now if you notice, it has cut a curve in that top piece. From an assembly perspective, I think it would be a good idea for the screw holes to be on side. It'd be easier to reach with the Allen key. Perhaps it's symmetrical. I don't have enough material on the sides. That's why I went there. That chamfer in the middle isn't looking very good. What chamfer in the middle? Oh, this is okay. You won't even notice this. This is printability. This is a printability chamfer. You have to remember when you're working on stuff like this, the scale, that's a 0.4 millimeter chamfer. You're not gonna notice. Now you see, we've got a nice little thing here. If we want to get rid of this, we can just select these surfaces here. Actually, I don't want to select that one. I want to select those three and just hit, we should just be able to hit delete. Nope, it won't. I'm not going to worry about it. Those are going to be fine. That's because of the clearance we made in the part. It's not going to hurt anything. Once again, the scale of this, that's 0.2 millimeters wide. First comment, hope you read it. Do you use Micron Plus? Faraz, do I use Micron Plus? Are you talking about the Micron printer? The Micron Plus printer? I have one, and I did a build series on it. What do you mean Micron Plus? Is it possible to cut with clearance? You can do a push-pull on those faces. Yeah, let's try that. I go here, here, and here. And Q, we'll do a push-pull now. Maybe I can do just this one. Oh, there we go. Minus 0.2. Oh, there we go. That'll push those in. There we go. So Q is the push-pull key. You can split the body with the curve of the skirt instead of combine. That looks really good. Micron 180. Yep, I have a Micron 180 for us, and I did a build series on it if you look back at my older videos. Okay, so I'm pretty pleased with that. It'd be interesting to see if it works the first time. What do you think? Now, I have not made any clearances. It's a a no clearance split. I'm going to rely on that to make it a slightly tighter fit in the first iteration. Also, since it's printing this way, there may be some bulging on the corners there that might have an impact. But for a first print, is that the picture on the giveaway wheel? The picture on the giveaway wheel. What are we talking about? Looks nice for a first prototype, full send, printed, exactly. So, very simple part. Let's put it in the, I just wanted USB ports in my skirts. And this seems to have been a good time, like it's within this hour and a half or whatever. Should I push pull on the skirt radius notch for a bit of clearance? It'll still line up just fine. All it's going to mean is it's going, if anything, it's going to not push into the skirt as far. With Charlie, is that the Micron Plus? No, that's my Trident. The purple printer is my Trident, my first Trident. Did you make the retaining screw faces the same height as the skirt or slightly below? It's the same height. If this isn't able to push as far into the skirt, all it's going to mean is that's going to push tighter against the back of the skirt. Right? So all of that I think is accounted for adequately. So let's go in here and export this. So let's save this as mesh. Okay. And let's not save it to Milo 1.5. Let's just save it here. USB hex part A. Is a 0 preheated. I'm going to print this on my Mark III that's sitting right here. I'm going to print it in PLA. I don't have to do much of anything to just make that work. What about the chamfer? That would be addressed. What chamfer? What chamfer, Sergey? I thought here, let's cancel. I thought this is what we were worried about. Some build episodes, but not seeing a user talk about it. Because I got caught up in tweaking it for us. I got caught up in trying different versions of Boop and trying all kinds of things on the skirt. Oh, I'm the chamfer on the skirt. Any of the small chamfers there, I don't think are going to matter. Are you talking about this little chamfer here? It's going to still hold in well. If that's the one you're talking about. If you're talking about the one that's in here, it's not going to matter. So, okay, let's get this printed. Let's see how it goes. Let's right click, save as mesh. Okay. X USB, or, oh sure, part A. And we're gonna save this just here. Save. Save. And then this one, we're gonna right click, save as mesh. X, USB, B. Save. Now we're gonna bring up Prusa slicer. Too small to matter. Prusa slicer should already be set up. Nope, it's set up for playing with the Tridex. So let's go. Prusa Mark III. Filament PLA, and let's go with the speed profile. Speed. Here, and grab our 2 files. There we are. goes on the build plate. And that's our pieces. CAD, everyone gets to the same place differently. Absolutely. You forgot to change the color to a Voron color infusion or the color you'll be printing it in. I did. Small clearance between those two parts is not needed. It may be. I'm counting on it just making it more of a friction fit, BA. We'll see how it turns out. This is first print. It is a quick, if this was a bigger print, I might pay a little more attention to that. But this is just a, let's get it printed, see what happens. So let's slice this, and it says it's gonna take about 30 minutes, which is about perfect. We can chat about stuff, chat about maybe a couple more other things I got from Rocky Mountain while we wait for this to print. I'm gonna clean off the build plate here, and we're just gonna print it in. Now, the problem is I don't have an extra skirt. I've got to pull a printer up here to test fit this because I couldn't find an extra skirt piece. Yeah, I couldn't find an extra skirt piece. So I'm going to bring up the green V2 to test it. Sometimes it's best to just send a rough draft to print first as well. Yeah. Oh, I need to grab the SD card. Cleaned it off, but I didn't grab the SD card. Where is that? Over there. Okay. Let's send this to, it's not what I want. There we are. And save. You get your model perfect first try, then you're doing it wrong. I feel like I'm doing it wrong at least a few times. Every time I go to work on something. I'm getting better at least first try viable stuff. First try viable things I'm pretty good at. Usually though, I find something I want to tweak. Hey, David Lee. Why does it need to be two pieces? Because I'm using this feature here to lock the plug in, and you wouldn't be able to put it in without that there. Do you ever use the send to 3D print utility, or do you prefer having the saved artifact? I've not used the send to 3D print utility. I know what you're talking about, but I never think to use it. Also a good idea to scroll the, oh yeah, good call. It is a good idea to scroll through here and see if there's anything. The infill on here is very sparse, so it's basically no infill for much of it, but I think it'll be, no, I'm gonna add some infill because I think this might get a little weird with the screw. I'm gonna add a little infill here. Let's go 30. See what that, yeah, there we go. Add a little bit of, oh, actually, no, I don't necessarily need to do that. Let's go back to say 20. Let's add a perimeter. That'd be better. Better to add a perimeter than the infill. Yeah, more walls. Yep. Right rig at Rocky Mountain, pretty nice. I think so too. It looks interesting. Grab this and export it. Oops, walked right past the. Seems to be a major improvement. What was that? USB. There we go. I'm just gonna Stay right over the other one. And I'm just going to start this. Everything should be good to go. It's heating up and gonna go. Needs more Octoprint. Use it semi-frequently. I'm iterating on a part a lot instead of saving out. Now, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. It is getting cold in here. I turned my AC on because it was warm. Let me bump that up. There we are. Okay. So that's going to be doing that. This is the file we are printing. I'm just going to hold in with a couple of screws on the back. I'd probably, so as I would want to iterate on this to remove those screws. This, I'm fairly certain, is going to hold it in place well enough. For a final version, I'd want to probably think of something different from that as a retention mechanism. Now, as you can see, that USB connector takes up a lot of that, so options are limited, but it'd be interesting to check out. Kids home from practice, have to help corral them. See you, Fabrico. Chamois. Okay, so that's going to be printing. We've got 8 more minutes until giveaway time. We have 241 people here and 124 likes. How high can we get that in 8 minutes? How high can we get that in 8 minutes? While we wait for giveaway time, what kind of things? I got things. We got things to play with in upcoming streams. Oh yeah, I got a part I'm gonna use on the Tic Tac build. A ring that maybe goes around both parts and screws go through, maybe. Printed, not threaded on back, but that's a longer design process. It ends up being kind of thin to put threads in there is what I was just looking at though. I got a part for the Tic Tac. I think I'm going to use this on the Tic Tac. This is a black anodized LDO V0 bed. So that seems like it'd be a cool. Hey Kyle. Not the Sunday stream. We're at 156. So thought that would be a good little clips on the flats, more protrusions that rely on the flexibility of the skirt to pass through. Lots of ideas with their little BlackRock 120 build surface. So Tic Tac part. It's parts in fancy gold packaging. What else? Well, I see you at Murph. That is the hope. I expect to be at Murph. Not just a hope, I expect it. What else do we have? Oh, I should have printed this in the Polymaker blue PLA that I have. I got one of these. I'm not sure about these. This Libre SBC. It's just a little inexpensive pie alternative. I feel like that's going well. I feel like you have one on your V0? Okay. The thing that I don't like about it, though, is it doesn't have Wi-Fi built in. I got to use a little Wi-Fi dongle, but it is nicely slim. It's got a cool wired network port there. It's supposed to be pretty good. Okay. It just bugs me that I'm going to use one of the USB ports for a Wi-Fi dongle. Is this called a potato? Is that what? So, I do have my MMU3. Yep. It arrived. No, this is what this is. PD1 lives. That's a Lefrit. eMMC support. Okay. Works pretty well. Well, I will find a use for this then. Slap a Waveshare Pi hub on it. Ooh. This isn't Rocky Mountain stuff, but this is fun garage door nightmare fodder. Fully supported in Arbian? Okay. Oh, there's no SD card on it. So that'll be a good one to cover setting up. This is garage door nightmare fodder. This is care of Apollo had this sent to me. It is really cool in that that's a Delaran machined plunger. Hey, Dr. Dave. If anyone is bringing a Voron Legacy for the Voron booth, I know Dr. Dave brought one last year. At Murph, we won't have a Voron booth. There won't be a Voron booth this year at Murph. I'm going to attend, but I won't have a booth. So the machined part, I don't know exactly what some of these are. The trigger though, what do they call this? I don't remember what the name for this is. That's another machine part. Bigger springs, faster foam. Yeah. So where the other blasters that I've done will do 220 up to about 220 FPS, this one may do 250 plus. Sear, thank you. This is just that next level up of kit here. More machined parts. Unofficial Voron booth. Yeah, that's really nice. This is upcoming Charlie's Angels content. Yeah. One of the colors I'm going to use, I purchased this from Cookie CAD at the event, but I think one of the colors I'm going to use in this build is this. This is Witchcraft Pet G. Apollo doesn't make them. He is the dealer. He is the enabler. Foam flingers again as fancy as some. Yep. I finished building my filamentous rewinders. They are pretty cool and work nicely. Nice. So I'm going to use that. And I also purchased a roll of, here it is, Fusion. I got this from Luke's laboratory. Ionized cobalt black HT PET. So it's a metallic black basically. So I'm going to go these two and then an extra bright color for the other highlights. Yeah, exactly, Adama. Exactly. Death Racer target practice. What's the page for those blasters? This is the SBL. We recommend ABS for any of the blasters. Got the calibering kit. I think Taylor did ABS for a blaster, but I've done PLA and PETG so far. I have not printed PBT. I think Taylor's done ABS for blasters, but I have not. What do we got? Oh, it's 7 o'clock. It's filament giveaway time. I want to check to make sure this is printing okay first. Just get a quick look at it. Oh yeah, it's looking okay. Filament giveaway time. What do we get? 162 is what we got up to. Hips. All I have is white hips. Excuse me. Hey, Tuxedo. What's the best filament for models in cars? Like RC type cars, or like mods for, it's 10, not 7. It's 7. Or like mods for full-size cars. Makes a significant difference in like heat tolerance requirements and stuff. Hey, Jordan. Okay, let's see. Bring up, nope, that's not what I wanted. Where are we at? Wheel of names. There we are, clear out the last stuff. We hit 170. Let's go 175 before I actually get this going. Hey, Clownhammer. Like a 3D printed part in a real car, not in the engine bay, but in the cab. You're gonna want something not PLA. PLA is going to warp. Blasters still won't take down my drone. Is that a challenge? Hi, Simon. You're gonna want something non-PLA there. Your ABS, nylon, PETG, depending on what your use is. That does sound like a challenge. Okay, the way we do this is I will close the entries when we haven't had a new one in 3 seconds. We have an unusually low number of responses right now. We have fewer responses than I'm used to. So the link is in the pinned post in the description. I'm gonna give you another minute or so before I start the countdown. ASA is good for heat and UV resistance, yep. So. Everybody enter. It is unusually low for the number of people that we have here. It's one of the, I think the first time I've ever looked at the number of responses in the forum, and it's fewer than the current number of people watching. Now, if you're listening and you're entering, be sure you also hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button too. I'm gonna give away 5 more gifted memberships here after we do the giveaway, so stick around. Although if you subscribe, you can also get a gifted membership even if you're not here, if there are no more to give away to current viewers. So can we enter again to get the numbers up? No! Worried about UV since I don't have a garage, yeah. People didn't wait out the fusion session. Dogs can't see them spinning around, so they aren't barking. What is that? I don't know what that is. I need all the luck I can get. Okay, we're gonna start the countdown. We're getting closer. So we're gonna go 3. When we haven't had a new entry in 3 seconds. 3 seconds. So 3. Break out the old hidden YouTube accounts if I must. No, we don't. We need likes. We need likes up. I just thought the entries were low. So 2. Honestly forgot about the stream until I got into Discord after finishing a few projects. Got a new one. So 3, 2. Oh, and we hit 200 likes, so I'm feeling good now. So 3, 2. I saw a message there. I'll answer whoever just DM me. I'll answer you in a bit. I'm only 1 behind, so if it wasn't from Sunday, then let me know, because I should be caught up except for Sunday. Anyway, hey Beth, 2, 3, 2, 1. Half. Just know that if I win more filament, then I'll have to make more stuff with more filament. Well, quarter. There. Finally. 3, 2, 1. Done. Who got that last one in? Okay, so GJ, you were often the first person in, and Rob Whidden got in at the end. C, Control V. Let's do a number between 10 and 20. 10 and 20. Seems to be lots of folks coming in for the drawing. Gotta love it. Yeah. I don't know what that 300 by 250 is. I don't know why that's there. I think it's a placeholder for an ad, and the ad's not loading. I can print huge ABS parts perfectly. ASA warp so much worse for me. Interesting. Have you tried a little higher bed temp? Wow, good odds tonight. It is good odds. 197 entries. Okay, let's go 13. Sounds good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Spin. 2.5. Do 25. Who do we got? Taylor Lazu? How do you say that? Taylor, congratulations. Say something in chat if you're here. You gotta be here, you gotta say something. Congratulations. Congratulations, Taylor. There you are. Good job. Congrats. Okay, so Taylor and Sunday's winner, I still need to get a hold of, but Secret Nero. Ooh. And looks good. Awesome. Congrats. Lozo. Reminder membership giveaway. Perfect. Thank you. Lozo, like Asian French. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me unpin this. Unpin. Edit the description. Don't forget your monthly membership giveaways, or do you do that already? I did half of them because I almost forgot. I'm glad today's the 30th and I can still do April's. Did I do them in March? There we go. Lozo. Perfect. Yes, missing Charlie for sure. French names that end with E or O. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, it's May here already. I've still got time. I've got 4 hours and 51 minutes of April left. So, let's do, how much time do we have left? We got 18 minutes left on that print. 18 minutes on that print. I wonder how many people I can get to stick around a little longer by delaying giving away the memberships. I'm just kidding. I'll do it right now. Great stream, learned some new tips. Awesome. Glad that helped. Heard you mention member giveaways last month. It had to have been early in the month then. Thanks, Bill. Member for 23 months. As long as my battery holds out. I came for the fusion pointers. Awesome. Membership gifting. Gift 5. There you are. I used them. I am glad to have remembered. See you, projects. If you haven't seen it, Projects in Dad's Garage and I did a talk on his podcast. It is on, if you search for Projects in Dad's Garage, there's a little interview thing there. What's the membership entail? I do monthly member streams. Is what you get for membership from moi. I usually cover other projects. Like we've done foam dart blasters, we built this. I'll always take an opportunity to show this off. We built this on member streams. So, radio controlled. Pedro, thanks for the gifted memberships. Thank you for this, very cool. Hope you decide to do more of these in the future. Yeah, I figure it'll be a series as I get ideas. VCore 4 build later this year. I hope so, Josh. It's up to Rat Rig. I am interested in building it, but it's up to them. They have my contact information. Love license plate. Yeah, I was pretty pleased with that. Is it April? I need to party at Rocky Mountain. Oh yeah, no kidding. Hey, Pathetic Puma. Gonna bookmark this video just for the fusion tips. Good. Remember again. Missed the end of Sakura. Did you show it off it running? I did, and that's public now. So the other thing I do, because I don't want to feel like people feel like they need to be members, is you need to be a member to see it live. I make them public after about a month. I make them public before the following member stream. So you did see the 280 move. We did donuts on my garage floor here. and the latest stream is public. If you just fast forward to the end, you'll see it. For baiting. Thanks for becoming a member. Scott, thanks for the memberships. Let's see. Got about 15 minutes. What else did we do? What else did I bring back from the show? What else did I bring back? I did not bring back any unwanted pathogens. I've heard a couple of people got colds and whatnot. I got all kinds of fun Big Tree Tech stuff. I want to try this. Let me bring this out. I want to try this. SKSM looks really interesting. And probably that. So Big Tree Tech gave a little baggie of cool things. Show off the sauces. Ooh, I had some Pueblo Red with my eggs on Saturday. Building the 3D sets Landy, awesome. The sauces are in the kitchen. Failed to show up I know, I didn't even run it at all, Scott. I didn't run the Sakura at the show at all. I meant to. This Big Tree Tech HBB. I have a similar project I need to work on before I install this because I had it earlier, but this is a skirts macro keyboard basically. It has a RP2040 and connects via USB and installs in the hex skirts. Got an invite to StrataFest. Might go to see what's new in the world of Stratasys. Nice. I was busy peeling Phoenix. We did a amazing job of earning some donation or some donations to the Sanjay Mortimer Foundation through that. I was blown away by the response. $1,860 to the cause just for peeling panels off of a printer. Get Jim away from a controller just for the fair lady. It's nowhere near as good as a Mellow. How does that get affixed to the skirt? I'm not sure yet. I think that you print a custom skirt. This is the part that I'm actually most interested in checking out. The SKSM. Got some pieces, but what this is a module to basically allow you to shut down your Pi, or shut down the printer, and it'll gracefully shut down the Pi. I did see the sport pack for the Sakura. Phoenix is 3030 based. So, yeah, got a couple of big 20 farad, two 20 farad caps. That's nuts, because when I was in high school, I remember we were playing with like half farad caps and big ones, and like charging them up and popping, putting screwdrivers across the terminals and making all kinds of noise. And remembering that like 1 farad caps were not out or were super expensive and hard to get. This thing, I don't know if this is for sale yet. Any news about the LDO Nighthawk 36? No, I don't know what the status on that is. Voltage capability makes a big difference to the size too. Of course, yep. This only needs to do 5 volts. Killing time for another 10 minutes. What else do we have? Let's just do Q&A chatting. 20 million microfarads in such a small package. There's a macro that adds a menu option to shut the Pi down. Been running it for a few weeks now, and it's a game changer. Yeah, the thing we need to install before we install the Big Tree Tech one is down over here. I've been very delinquent in getting this one installed. 3DI Experts. Hey Jason, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Different take on it. Nighthawk 36 should be around end of May. There we go. Good timing, Jason. Yeah, this is similar, but this uses a, is that an STM? Let's see, where's some? Yeah, that's an STM. I need to, the plan was to put this in the Tridex, and then I can put like tool change. What would cause a Milo not to connect to Wi-Fi? Thanks, Poity. I appreciate that stab, that little nudge. The new BTT can splitter board looks useful. Yes, I have one of those around here too. I don't know where. So Poity made a comment there. What could cause a Milo not to connect to Wi-Fi? So we were, I was in here, what was it? Was it Sunday? Was it Sunday night? So I put Millennium OS. I put Millennium OS on my Milo so I can cut the slots in the extrusions for the right here. There we go. I can point that way. That's the black box. I could not get that thing to turn on. So I couldn't get it to connect to Wi-Fi. So I grabbed a long USB extension and plugged into my nifty little USB-C port on the front skirt. And I could get it to connect to Wi-Fi. So I puttied into it and did all the commands. And when I unplugged it, it would disconnect. And when I plug it back in, it would reconnect. Does anybody know what was going on? News, you guys want hand on positron, open pre-order tomorrow for positron. Awesome. Does anybody know what was going on with my Milo? Why I couldn't get it to connect unless it was plugged into the USB? The e-stop button was engaged. Oh, e-stop button. Yep. And I don't have other devices with an e-stop button. I've not gotten used to looking for that. Yep. So, yes, a big Homer Simpson moment. Big time. Any updates on your search for a new dark gray? Yes, big updates on my search for a new dark gray. Just bypass the e-stop to Steve Privet. Jared had 2 rolls of KBP original graphite ABS dark gray, so now I'm supplied for replacement parts for a while. That's how I fixed it, because nobody else makes something that dark. Been there, done that last night. There we go. There's Jared. Yep. So, where are we at? We are at just a few more minutes. Jason, thank you. At some point, we're still looking at since we're talking about positron, still looking at a positron build here. So that will be occurring at some point. The black box build here, it'll be probably right after that. Probably do black box build, then positron, then tic tac, then, because I'm keeping tic tac on the list. One of your V0s could have spurred out 3 cents of those parts by now. To be honest, it could. That's a Mark III before the Mark 3.5 upgrade. So we're waiting for that print, the thing that we designed. So let me grab the printer because we want to actually put this on it. So let me grab the printer since I can't find any extra skirts, any extra skirt pieces. Cleaning my office and found 2 spools. Yeah. Should get production kit end of May. Perfect. Black box is gonna take quite a few streams, but we will get positron scheduled. Get the excitement around USB based umbilicals. It is basically easier than CAN. Although with the esoterical guide, CAN got a whole lot easier for me. Oh boy. Okay. I definitely do not mind CAN with a good guide. And esoteric, is it esoteric or esoterical? Has done a good job with their guide. Okay. So, yeah, this is a good this ends up working out really well because I can do this and grab this, goes here, and then it just goes right into, just kind of holds itself in place right there. That goes around that 4mm PTFE. That is perfect. But it only takes up that much space on the side. That's how I've been using it. Troubleshooting people can issues every day on Discord. That's awesome. Do a hub in the tool head. Just got around to doing can and tap on my 2.4. It was pretty easy with all the info available. It's getting better and better, isn't it? Although I ran into a lot of frustrations because I was refreshing some parts on my Mercury 1. Because I'm going to print most of this next blaster on the Mercury 1 is the plan. And I was redoing the firmware and having trouble. And I don't know where the problem was, but it was all on the flashing of the Manta E3 EZ board. Okay, so I am going to turn this on its side and pull off one of these skirts, I think. That way we'll get a better view of it. That thing is almost done. It's like 0 minutes remaining. I'm just gonna pull the skirt right off the printer. Who here, I know I asked this on Sunday, but we might have new people here. Who here's going to OpenSauce? Who here is going to OpenSauce? This is where we're gonna put that insert. Two-tone gray is so nice. Thanks. I'm really pleased. Really like this printer. I haven't been printing with it yet because I want to tear apart the XY joints and see why I was getting some not optimum input shaper results. Okay, so here is our piece. Look at that. We thought of something, played in Fusion for a little bit, and now we have a physical manifestation of our thoughts. What's going to connect to that USB? I don't know. USB things. Okay, so let's start here. Let's see. Look at that. That went right on there. That. Look at that. The back PTFE tube inlet, where's that from? If you go into the description to my GitHub, in the Trident V2 common folder, you can find it there, Mike. That is awesome. That is just like great. I'm getting bolted and building another V0. How do you like your duet machine? Think you're giving RipRep firmware a whirl. It's very worth it to try something new there, Puma. Okay, so there is that one there is the curved one. So we are going to put this right in there. That is great. Isn't the catapult limited to R to can. I tried it today for the USB. No bono. It's not to can only. In minus R, I don't know what that means though. Now let me find my M3. There they are. Put a USB in upside down so you can plug stuff in first try. Is that? Oh, put it in upside down. I see. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, so we go here now. This should, even with it on the front, it still take 3 tries to plug it there. Yeah, it will, that's for sure. It's one. That is, I mean, I'm done. I'm done. That is perfect. Okay, we're gonna do one more thing before we call it for the day. Bleeping screws, I caught it though. That is really good. That is not going anywhere with the force of plugging something in. It looks good. The best way to assemble the hexagon is by removing the skirt first. Well, yeah. Okay, the next thing we are going to do is we're going to go over here and we are going to, let's see if I can do this without any, I think I can do this. We're going to go in here, and now I am going to take this and we're going to export the whole thing as a step file. USB hex insert, that's fine. Let's export this as a step file, and we are going to export this as a Fusion. Oh no, okay. So something about Fusion exporting. Before I export this as a Fusion file, I'm gonna break the link on this reference part. It'll make it easier to share. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna break that link. And all it does is make this, the bodies of this part of this file. Yeah, I am. Randy knows where I'm going. Randy knows where I'm going. Now I'm going to export this and I can export it as a Fusion file. And we're going to export that. Okay. Now I have the stream file. Now I should have exported these somewhere else, but I'm going to grab this file and that file and that file and that file. Those are all the files that we did today. Name the bodies, so when you save out the bodies as STLs, they carry the name over. Absolutely, you're absolutely right, Turtle. But we're running out of time at this point anyway. 100%. Let's copy these, and I have a GitHub folder. And I have not cloned my my repo, so we are going to, I don't think I have anything there that matters, right? I'm gonna hold down Shift and right click, and we are gonna open a Linux shell here. That comes up. Now we are going to, 90% correct at best. I'm not gonna go through and re-export those is the thing. Now we're gonna go to, let's go here. STVP. What magic is this? So I'm going to my GitHub repo. I'm not logged in. I'm not logged in on this screen, but that's fine. We're gonna go to printer stuff, and I want to clone my own repo to the local drive. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go back to the Linux shell, and I'm going to do git clone and paste this. This is going to do is make a local copy of the stuff out on my printer stuff repo. Linux VM accessing Windows files. Of course, yes. So I do all of my Git stuff within a command line. Those of you who've been around a while are probably not surprised by that. This might take a little bit because I'm not on the fastest connection right here. But I figure, why not? Let's go through the process of pushing these changes to my GitHub right here, and then it'll be available for everybody. I have a Samba share mapped into Windows that I do this from. Okay, so that's done. So now if I go to printer stuff, and now I'm going to create a new folder here. So I don't need to do this here. I can go into here and now GitHub printer stuff, and I'm gonna make a new folder called Fusion Fun. That's what we're gonna call the series. Okay, Fusion Fun. No spaces, because spaces are evil. And then we're gonna call this USB hex insert. And then we're gonna paste. Nope, I lost them. So let's go back to stream, and let's grab these files here. Paste these here. Before I go too far, the other thing you have to do when you're doing something like this is make sure that you have properly oriented the printed parts. And I have a slightly manual way of doing that. Let's go in here, Fusion Fun, grab this, orient it, and then file, export, plate, save, yes. Just get rid of that and this one. File, export, plate as STL, and save, and yes. So those are now print oriented, and with that, we can go here and we can go back here. And now if we do a git status, we will get a list of files that have changed. So Fusion Fun is a new folder there. A proper way to do this would probably be to do a new branch, commit changes to that branch, push it to the repo, do a pull request to merge them. This is my repo. I'm gonna push directly. So I'm gonna skip all those steps because it's mine and I do what I want with my repo. So I am going to add everything I just uploaded, and then check to make sure the things I expect to show up on this list are, GTI, git, are there. So these are the 4 files that I added, which is what I would expect. What I want, exactly. And then I'm going to actually do a commit message though. So I'm gonna git commit -m and then added files from Fusion Fun USB hex insert Tuesday stream. Enter. What did I do wrong? Author identity, please tell me who you are. Okay, I haven't done this. So this is new on this computer. I just set up Linux shell on here. I usually do this from my other computer, which I've set all this up. I'm going to set this up. Let's see if this works. I'm just going to do there. Will that work now? Okay, whatever. It's close enough. And then we're going to get push. That, and then let me grab my, need to grab my password. And here, and paste and enter. Okay, did that do it? So we should be able to go here now and refresh, and here's Fusion Fun. There we go. And I will add that to the description. Never used the Windows terminal on Linux either. Curious to see if Microsoft did a good job. So, yeah, it's out there. I wanted to do this live and actually realized that I wanted to do it live in the middle of this stream, but there you go. It is out there. I will add this to the description right now. There are probably better ways to do all of that, but this is what I've done. There we go. Save that. Okay, falling asleep here and lots of driving in the morning. See you, Nogorot. Thanks for being around. Gets revised security, plays havoc with my auto commit scripts. Access tokens expire too often. Yeah, I probably don't have best practices on that, but we won't go into that. With that, what did you guys think? Did this work well? Do we need to do more of these? Feel free to, here's what I would like, because we need engagement, right? We always need engagement. If you have ideas for a future stream for Fusion Fun, after this stream is done, put it in the comments. Okay? So things like this that we can do within an hour and a half or so are best. Simple, demonstrating concepts are the best. But I'll take any ideas. Here, random question, is there a better way to hold up CAN bus wire upright? That's a great question. I haven't explored all the different methods that are out there. There's using piano wire, there's using filament, like a nylon, like 3mm nylon filament, that kind of thing. So this is super helpful to go through the thought process for doing this sort of stuff. And that was kind of the point coming in, because I had designed everything and ideas in my head, but I didn't lay any sketches out ahead of time. This was supposed to be the true design process. Key back. Do you know how to do motion assemblies? Not very good. I have some idea of how Michael. Kyle Lisa, if they're around, is great at that. So PTFE makes a good stiffer. So why don't you make a bracket for that power recovery board? That's a great idea, Josh. That is a great idea. Generally, I want to see different examples of extrude on path. Oh yeah, we can do that. Easy stick 3mm nylon filament, also those thin measuring tapes. So many ideas. Thick zip tie, stainless steel zip tie. You can cut the zip tie parts off and use that. So with that, thank you everyone. Appreciate it. Thanks for new members, gifted memberships. Thanks for being here. We will be back on the black box build, this one right here, on Sunday. So, yeah, have a good week, everybody. Enjoy the build. Bye.